Thank you very much for coming to, I think we're workshop 2. And we're going to talk about digital transformation. My name is Stephen Parkinson. I am classed as a consultant, but only less than 6 months ago I was employed as Head of Communications at Preston City Council and was leading the digital transformation agenda at Preston. And I want to share some of our experiences that we've had at Preston and also share some of the experiences that we have, funnily enough, in the London Borough of Southwark, which we're very close to at the moment, and talk about the Bridge, which is the software solution that we've used to implement our digital transformation in Preston and also in Southwark. So I was looking around for some inspiration, and I was very conscious that we're very close to Tower Bridge today, so I was looking at the Bridge, and the Bridge is obviously what I'm talking about today. So I sought out some Bridge quotes, and I came across one from Michael Jordan, who's probably the most well-paid sportsman in the world, and he talks about being a bridge to the next generation. And what I mean by next generation, I mean next generation in new technology, the next generation in, of course, people, and the next generation in public service. There's a big change in how we are delivering public service, and I think the Bridge can be that bridge to that next generation. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, my frame for the talk, it's only 20 to 30 minutes long. So I want to talk about some of the problems that we were facing, and I'm sure some of these are very familiar to yourselves, being on the roundabout of digital transformation. What are solutions? What are the solutions that we implemented at Preston and also have implemented at Southwark? The outcomes and the successes that we've had from our digital transformation journey, and then also our learning points that will come out of that. And an opportunity then for you to ask me any questions should you wish. There are also other members from Weblabs here from a technical point of view, so they might be able to help you with some of the technical aspects. My background is marketing, not a technical person, but I will do my best to assist you with those. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the problems, because I think this is important to set the scene, really. And I think if you think about certainly public sector, local government, wider public sector, we are really having to nail down our costs and reduce our budgets. That's obviously something that we're all familiar with. And as a result, we have less staff, less skills, less resources to be able to deliver on our agenda. But equally, the expectation of our customers is higher. You know, customers are expecting the local government and public service to respond in the same way as the private sector and deliver seamless 24/7, 365 services in a way that is focused around them. So it's a really big challenge. Meanwhile, certainly from my perspective in local government, we are dealing with what I would class as legacy systems, or a lot of third-party systems, which are a number of years old, which were built for specific reasons and specific issues at the time, and are based around the system or the directorate or the organisation, not around the user. So, you know, these are all kind of problems that come in and make digital transformation more difficult. Equally, I wanted to talk in terms of organisational terms. The directorates and the services have their agendas and are trying to move forward in digital transformation, sometimes in a vacuum. So what that means is there is then an opportunity or a lack of holistic working, and there's even the possibility of competing or jarring priorities. And what that means is the organisation isn't able to take forward in a strategic and holistic way the efficiencies that actually could be found across the piece rather than just in the service. So yes, there are huge opportunities, I think, with the Bridge, and certainly how we've implemented. And it's truly user focused. It is built around the user priorities. So the solution, we used the Bridge, and it's been very successful because it was easy to use and easy to deploy, and it certainly delivered return on investment and value for money. And when we deployed the Bridge, we were part of a partnership with Lancaster and Fire Council, so our neighbouring councils, and we used digital experts funding from the LGA. So we one of the successful partnerships with the LGA funding. So there is actually an LGA case study which we can make have, or you can download as well, which sets out some of the things I'm talking about today. The Bridge and the solution that we had at Preston and at Southwark is very reliable, very robust, very secure, meets all the requirements that are there, and it integrates with everything. And I'll show you later on in the presentation what I mean by everything, but it integrates with everything. Okay, and I think the real big part of this is what we've been able to do with this digital transformation project, what we've been able to do with the bridge, is really put digital transformation right at the heart of the organisation. So coalesce around it and use it to drive digital transformation and service improvement right across the piece, right throughout the organisation. Bring people with us on that journey. So we've used it as a catalyst and an enabler to achieve savings and also deliver better services. It's totally scalable, so we've got the ability to bolt on it, build on it, and be confident in it, and that's what Preston are looking at, and obviously same with Southwark. I've mentioned it's totally user-friendly because it's built around the user, not around the system or the organisation. And of course, it's mobile-friendly, and this is what a lot of the legacy systems struggle with because they were invented before mobile phones and internet phones were available. So with 60% of web visits and even sometimes transactions being mobile, you have to be mobile first. And as a result, we can deliver return on investment. So we went down the single sign-on route, and the reason why we went down the single sign-on route was partly because of the success elsewhere. People are familiar with Amazon, Google, Microsoft have a single sign-on platform as well, and this basically keeps all the user data in one place, so you can use it, touch it once, but use it many, and it's easy for the customer to come in. You know, people are very familiar with Google. Once you sign into Google, you can access YouTube, etc. So we knew there was a success there, and we wanted to replicate that. At Preston, only 5% of our services were delivered online, so we were in a position that we needed to obviously radically transform that and take pressure off our frontline services. And I can quote Preston because obviously I worked there. We were carrying 4 vacancies in our contact centre, and the best part about that was that the contact centre wanted to engage. They rather than seeing it as a threat to taking turkeys for Christmas, they saw it as an opportunity to relieve pressure on themselves. So they got on board and became very much part of the team, so that we were delivering services, not only that the contact centre was dealing with the customers, but the website and the digital aspects would also use the same services. We were also able to use self-populating forms, so again making the user journey much more friendly and much better. So people find it a good experience, they'll come back and use it, and less likely to phone us, less likely to have face-to-face appointments. And from a marketing perspective, this is where I came in, we were able to capture the user data. So we could target market and segment it, and then use that as for income generation or from promoting events and other attractions that are going on within the community. So we were able to kind of use all of those different elements as part of the single sign-on solution. How did we go about it? Well, we really delved into the data. What were the killer applications that would give the biggest reward for the organisation, but also the biggest benefit for the user? So we went down into the data and worked out what that would be. And from Preston's point of view, we chose council tax because it's a big one, our GIS system, and also our green waste portal, because that was something that was coming in and we needed to let citizens have access to be able to pay for a service that was previously free. Southwark have gone further. They've not only done council tax, but they've got their housing portal in, the landlord's portal, leisures, and libraries, and there's also another development which I'm going to talk about with another service as well. This is a technical diagram. I'm not a technical person, but I'll try and explain it. This is what the bridge does. So the bridge has workflow, security elements, and enables you to do single sign-on. It has customer authentication, a graphical user interface which is easy to use, search facility, analytics. So it's built so that it can integrate either with a content management system or with e-forms or with a customer relationship management system at the front end, but then also at the back end it can integrate with existing services, either legacy systems that exist or other services that have APIs, so payments for example. So it's fully scalable and it works both ways. It truly is a bridge between the front and the back offices. I said it integrates with everything. Here is a list of some of the systems and some of the suppliers who the bridge has been already successfully integrated with. So that gives you an idea, and I think some of these will be familiar names to you. You may even be using some of their systems. So these are successful integrations that are live and are working. And I come to a point later on, it's not vaporware, this is real life. This is real life, and it works, and it's in place, and it's delivering real outcomes and real results. So actually I can start to show you a little bit now as about what that means. So I can give you not a full demonstration because we obviously don't have time for that. But here we are with the single sign-on portal to access for Preston. As you can see, the first thing I want to point out is you can log in through Facebook and Twitter. So people again can come in and use that user benefit to sign in the single sign-on. Or they can enter their username and password. So hopefully this will let me in. There'll be a slight delay whilst the broadband kicks in, hopefully. Let's try again. Okay, there we are. So it's immediately, it's got my name up there as you can see, and it's indicating this is how you should access council services. So if we want to just go to my council tax and benefits, quickly go into council tax, again there'll just be a slight delay while it pulls the information up, but it will actually seamlessly pull up my council tax account, and then from there I can do what I need to do from various aspects. And as you can see, this is, just to be clear, this is dummy data, it's not real live data, so we're not breaching any data protection issues, but there gives you an idea. We're straight into the council tax account with my address and my details in there. Similarly with Southwark, this is the My Southwark, so that was My Preston, gives you an example of what happens in My Preston. My Southwark is very similar. Hopefully this will allow us to log in. And again, very similarly, here we have name and we have our address. But also, I wanted to show you on this, this is really quite clever. It tells me my MP, it tells me who my councillors are, it tells me my bin collection day, it tells me any parking restrictions, whether it's listed building in a conservation area, what consultations are going on, and any other options. So all of that is built seamlessly using the bridge, importing possibly GIS and other data in there. Also mentioned about my online forms. This is all the forms that I've submitted as a user, so I can go back and access the information because it's all there. And again, it's pre-populated with the information of my address and the further details if you complete the form. The other thing that I think is really important is this is really new and really dynamic, because one of the things that Southwark are doing is not just integrating and taking digital transformation forward in the organisation, they're looking external. So the Southwark Clinical Commissioning Group from the NHS have made contact with Southwark because of this seen the success that they've had and have wanted to bolt on NHS services onto the portal. So not only are we delivering seamless local government services, we're also able to deliver seamless NHS services. So again, just show you this very quickly, conscious of time. If we go in here about dental services, it will pull up information about the dentist, hopefully. There we are. So it gives you the information about dentists, and the aim is you'll be able to book appointments and really take that forward in that way. There's their information about the dentists, map directions, etc. So it's as I say, seamless way of delivering services across the piece, not just in terms of council services, but also other services as well. So I'll go back to the presentation. Some outcomes. Obviously this is about return on investment, and this is about actually making a real difference. And here's some outcomes. So Preston, we got 5,000 users in the first year, but that's really only 6 months. That's with no marketing. So that's purely just by encouraging people to, via the contact centre. Did you know when they ring? Did you know you were doing this? You can sign up. So there was those types of things that we're doing. So we did that in 6 months. Southwark are ahead of us in terms of their digital transformation agenda, which is why they've got 170,000 registered users on the portal already, and they've taken 80,000 council tax payments through the portal. And also, interestingly, since the landlord's portal's been alive, they've taken additional income of £100,000. And when we integrated our green waste scheme through the portal, 90% came through the portal, and £500,000 was delivered through the portal. So that gives you an idea of how it can be effective. But there's also some real win-wins within the organisation with actual deploying the bridge, because it really is a true focus for digital transformation. It pulls, pardon the pun, but it bridges people together, and it enables people to coalesce around this this transformation agenda and what's in it for me, how it will benefit me, how it will improve the organisation, how it's going to affect me in my team, in my area. So it really does open up hearts and minds to the possibilities and makes it real for people. Also, again, I want to stress the marketing aspect, because in terms of the future for local government and public services, income generation is going to have to be a real key driver. So from a marketing perspective, we are able to, as I say, target markets, segment market, and build income through that. So certainly Southwark had a 33% increase in their BMX and leisure bookings as a result of deploying the portal. And equally, the NHS, as I mentioned, Southwark Clinical Commissioning Group, got in touch with Southwark, and we're now deploying access to NHS services digitally. So the potential is massive and the opportunities are awesome. It's not without its trials and tribulations, and it is hard work. There's no getting away from it. You are cutting new ground, you are doing something, you are changing the organisation from the inside out. That's not easy to do, but it's worthwhile. And we set up a corporate service improvement board, which I chaired, and this was the taking forward digital transformation within the organisation. So we had IT, we had a contact centre, we had some other back office services that worked with us as a project team to develop the service transformation. So we got everyone together and we got ownership from it, and it's really worked in terms of taking forward digital transformation and then getting ownership. Now people want to build on it and take it forward, so it's got its own momentum now. Obviously clear project management is key, and having a clear vision and clear leadership. So certainly our chief executive and our management team are very clear about making this happen, partly because of the savings that we needed to make. So for example, the 4 vacancy savings that we were carrying in the contact centre, we carried the 4 vacancy savings last year. This financial year, those have taken off the establishment. So it gives you an idea of how you can actually make savings. The other thing that was really crucial is we did a lot of user testing. We did focus groups with users, and we did a lot of testing, just to get it right, just to make sure that we've got the user journey right, because we want to make sure people will come back and want to use it and use this as a channel of choice, not a channel of need. And that's worked really well. So we were able to use the customer feedback and improve what we were doing all the time. So, conscious of time. In summary, the bridge and what it offers, it can offer seamless service delivery. It integrates with everything, and I've shown you how it can integrate with many different platforms that are already existent, third-party systems, legacy systems. It integrates. It will deliver you real return on investment, and it will deliver the outcomes that you've seen, because it's already in field, it's already deployed, it's already having those successes. So much so that other organisations, such as the NHS, are wanting to be part of it. So it really does help organisations, local authorities and other public sector organisations to deliver true digital transformation. So hopefully that was a whistle-stop tour through what we've done at Preston and what we've done at Southwark. I'd be very happy to take any questions. Yeah.
You mentioned support, so care and support within the My Southwark page. I'm just wondering, how does that connect through to social care, case management solutions within a council, and then also from an NHS perspective, a care pathway from the NHS?
Yeah, it's certainly not gone there yet. Okay. You know, I think that will be another challenge in itself. I think that there are definitely some security issues there as well. But I think it would be a question of, one, what's the business case? So understanding what the business case is for it, what are the savings, what's the rationale behind it, what you're trying to achieve, and then seeing what the systems are. What are the systems you're currently using? Are you looking to upgrade to a new system? Because it wouldn't be able to deliver case management, but it might be able to integrate with an existing system or with an API if you're using a system that has an API to it. It just depends what the needs of you as the user stroke business would be.
Can I add just a little bit to that?
Of course, Steve, yeah.
With Southwark, we are actually at the moment integrating with Liquid Logic. So that's actually it's taken a little while, as you were saying.
So this would act as a front end portal.
Yeah, basically
for a user to get into their social care record.
Yeah, I'm actually writing some of it. So
okay.
Yeah, in fact, we're doing the mazes. I don't know if you've heard of MASH, but we've got a MASH system in Southwark, and we also because Liquid Logic is a very big system they bought it, we're integrating into that. But that's a project. It's probably over the next 6 months. I just thought it would worth mentioning.
Well, Stephen is a technical person, so thank you, Steve.
Yeah, I just also wanted something to do with it now.
Okay.
I think also bear in mind that this is very much driven by the needs of the actual organisation, the local government at the time. As Stephen said, Preston had this requirement to go down the green waste route. Southwark have had their, their what's the right word, not pet projects, but they've had their priorities that they wanted to go to. The case study side is now coming on, but this is after 18 months. It's really down to your councils, what are your priorities? Part of that might be what contracts you're actually tied into, so there's no point touching that. Or it might be something that isn't quite working as it should be now and needs fixing straight away. So it's a very tailorable environment. There are no fixed rules as to what piece comes first, or in fact what order it comes in.
Any other questions?
I mean, we have colleagues here from Weblabs if you want to obviously find out more about it, if you want to have a discussion with someone about the bridge and how it works and how it might work in your organisation. You can obviously set those up and also give you case study information. The LGA have produced their own independent case study which shows the success of the digital transformation project in Preston, Borough and Lancaster. And as you can say, Steve, we're only a stone's throw from Southwark. There are obviously people at Southwark you can speak to as well to indicate how successful it's been for them. So I think thank you for the opportunity to talk today. Thank you for listening. I hope you found it useful, and next time when you walk past Tower Bridge, you'll remember the bridge and how good it is for your organisation.